Hey, hey, hey.
Welcome back,
NessaBBey and Mr.
Mr.
P.
P. We are out enjoying the sunlight.
At the lake.
We're at the lake
People
chilling.
watching. People watching. Getting algae up our butts. Trying not to drown.
Not drowning. You guys would be happy to know that I was successful in that drowning. I managed not to drown, which is awesome.
Yay!
Yeah, I'm sure I lose a lot of street cred if I drown in 2 feet of water. So.
Hey, it was deeper than that. It went up to here, to my belly button. It's very nice and quiet out here.
What should we discuss?
You want to do the discipline thing? Because since we didn't record it, we had an awesome conversation over lunch.
Yeah.
You want to reiterate on that?
I guess we can reiterate on that.
Okay, so we had lunch about an hour or so ago. But anywho, we were talking about disciplining. I am a mother and a grandmother. I disciplined my 2 oldest, but I did not my youngest. He acts like it. But there also is a line of respect that we don't have for one another. Me and my youngest son, me and my oldest 2 do. But Paul believes in spanking. Me actually living through it and don't like getting hit at all myself. I don't think it worked. I don't think that disciplining is necessary if you have the mutual respect. Now that I know what I know from growing up, from being spanked and then having spanking my 2 oldest by listening to older people in my family, I don't think it had a positive effect. So for instance, my daughter, name we do not never speak of, she is like a bull. She used to say when she was I think she stopped saying it when she was 17. My brother, I am tailor-made, asked her one time, hey, what, you gonna fight the whole world? Her response was yes. And it's crazy because she really felt that's what she had to do was, okay, well, they're gonna try and fight me, I'm gonna fight everybody. Now my son, who also got disciplined, but I'm not gonna say not as much as her because he didn't challenge me as much. He was, and that's what I did. And that's another thing too. I don't never wanted my kids scared of me, but I see now as an adult, knowing what I know, one of them was and the other one wasn't. So far as my son Joshua Jaleel, my bear, he was, I used to call him always my loyal baby, but he was like, oh, I see what happens to my sister, I'm not gonna do it. So that's why I was like, he got less spankings or whatnot, but he still was disciplined that way. And me and him have I think an utmost respect for one another. When I need certain things done in the family, because he's out there, he'll do his best to do it and stuff like that. As far as my daughter, it goes on deaf ears. She gaslights me in the whole 9 yards. Now my youngest son, Mr. Green Pants, I did not spank him at all. At all. And that boy, I'll never forget it. The first time I told him no, I thought I was gonna have to lay him out, y'all. I did. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? So I was like, well, that's it. He'll just have to deal with his emotions. But he's, as a young adult, he is still dealing with those emotions of being told no and stuff not going his way. He tries to maneuver as he's in control of his emotions and what's going on around him. He's not. It's chaos. Helicopter. But did you spank your daughter?
No, I never actually got the chance to raise my daughter.
Okay. Do you know if she was spanked?
I believe that she was. I think that her mother and her grandparents did spank her. I'm a person that is pro spanking because I think the human ego at a young age is not capable of understanding social. We understand nature and natural order things, but we don't really understand social things. And a lot of the social things that are expected of us go against our actual nature. So I strongly believe that to get us to move away from the natural order and the nature of the things into a societal spectrum of thinking and processing information requires the reinforcement of physical pain. Once children are able to have the autonomy and the agency to think for themselves and self-govern and communicate their wants and needs in an effective way, then I think that spanking undermines that right to be a a person. But when they're younger, before all of that, the reinforcement of the pain for things that they can't understand, like running into the street, or plugging, like sticking stuff in outlets, like things that will hurt or kill them. I think it's important to reinforce those types of things with pain. Because as you get older, you start to understand, like, oh, the reason why I was whipped was because this thing that I was doing at that time would have been fatal, or could have been potentially fatal. So that's my position. I don't think that spanking is necessary. I don't think that it's absolutely a absolute go-to method for child rearing and raising people, but I do believe that it does have a place in the process of getting us from being human animals to human beings and a part of society and operating within culture. Once you get to a place where you're able to speak and understand and comprehend and communicate, then you should have the ability to say, no, I don't want to whip you, or no, I don't want you to hit me. And that's when other alternative methods of discipline work. But when you have a kid that is being just ornery, you don't honorary kids. You're like, don't do that, or don't put that there, or did you touch this? When they start doing that, and when you have to repeat yourself over and over and over again, you have to reinforce that expectation with a pat on the butt, maybe 2 pats on the butt. But that's how I've always seen it, and that's coming from somebody that was spanked. And another thing, as an 80s baby, looking at this newer generation that I know was raised more with alternative forms of discipline, you can literally see the way society is and see what happens when you don't spank kids. Like, you can see it in the everyday interactions you have with younger people right now. The younger generation there's nothing wrong with the younger generation, but you can see the way that discipline and respect, that how it has a different value now than it did for our generation. So that's about it for me. You got anything else?
I agree about the danger stuff, but then again too, like I was telling Mr. P earlier, I feel like with two of my grandkids, I can just raise my voice an octave higher and give them that what's his name? The Rock look.
Oh yeah, The Rock. The people
Johnny Bravo. Yeah, there you go. All that. I can give them that look, and they'll be like, okay, Grandma ain't playing. And I don't know if it's because of what their older ones have told them, or what my two kids, because that's even, it's funny too, my daughter says it a lot. Now, if that had been us, and I'm like, yeah, and look what happened to y'all. Nothing. Y'all still act the way you act. So what's the purpose of me knocking their head off or trying to fly them across the damn room type shit? I can just, but I know there are the ones that challenge you with those idle threats. When you make me get up. I've had one of them say, and what you gonna do when you get up, Grandma? Absolutely nothing, because you're right. I'm not gonna come over there and hit you, but I do believe in taking things. Because I had my boys, especially, they were electronic freaks. My daughter, not so much. She didn't value too much of anything. Like, I get toys and all that. She destroyed all that stuff. Nothing that meant no value to her whatsoever. Her freedom was what she wanted. So with her, it was just telling her she can't go somewhere just for her to try and walk out the door anyway type shit. But as far as my boys, yeah, they were definitely electronic geeks. So I took a lot of stuff from them. I know one time they only had mattresses in their room. I told them, y'all get the bare minimum. I only have to feed and clothe you, and make sure you go to school. That was it. But I get that a little bit. Like, for instance, when my bear, he got in trouble for disciplining his son because he was in a facility, and the person who was on watch that night heard the little kid crying and heard the little kid being swatted. So he ended up, behind all of that, ended up in jail. And only because my grandson had urinated, or when he went to the bathroom on himself. Instead of him calling me or remembering how I used to discipline them, he called the baby mama. She said, spank him. And he thought about it once and twice. And I said, if you had thought about it twice, you shouldn't have did it. But he did it anyway. He ended up going to prison behind it. Because come to find out, after they investigated on that little boy, they seen he had old bruises but keep in mind, that was the first time me and the bear had physically been around this child. We had been forbidden to see him. He had been taken from us, and I guess this night the whole house babysitting couldn't babysit him, so they said, "Oh, you can get him." So the one time he did spank him, and he went to the hospital and got examined. They found, when I say old unhealed bruises, and so that we know good well that did not happen that night, but the judge didn't want to see it that way, and plus Mr. Bear didn't do right by his attorney and all that, so you know they tried to make an example out of him, and she did that. She gave him time for it, but to come to find out, it was the mother and whoever she had watching him that was doing the actual abuse. It was prior abuse, and then the doctors in the hospitals and all the exams they did proves all that, but the judge wasn't hearing that by the time my son decided he wanted to go face the judge. It was too late. She already had her mind made up on what she was going to do and who was going to suffer, and it's going to be one of you parents, and since you're here and you're being accused of it, why not you? So long story short, with my children, when they came to stuff like that, not sticking their hand in the stocking and all that, because my house was pretty much childproof, except for I had little trinkets and stuff everywhere, and everybody used to say that, how do you have all this glass with these kids in here? And that's what I said, the fear that they know not to touch my stuff, because I would go ape shit crazy, which, you know, I probably didn't have to do. Then I just tell them, this ain't your toys, because my kids had all the toys in the world. But I just make them sit on the potty until basically Jessica used to fall asleep, because she's my most stubbornness. And then the bear, he would try and get up, and I'm like, go sit back down. But I'm hungry. I go feed him on that pot. Oh, I'm thirsty. I'll give him something to drink on that pot. You know, I'm like, you're going to sit here until you can tell me. If you can ask for drink, water, and food, you can tell me you got to go to the bathroom. So until you get it, you're going to sit there. But yeah. This should look sweeter than it is. But as far as that discipline, my stepdad, I think he was the best discipliner in the world. He refused to spank me, and I commend him for that. And the one time my mom tried to force him to do it, he faked a dislocated arm so he wouldn't spank me. So what he told my mom after he came back 2 days later, 2 days later, just not to spank me, he said, how about we do this with her? But she said, if we do it with her, we got to do it with all of them. I was the only one that didn't really appreciate being hit on at all, so they gave me the choice of either being on restriction or getting a whooping. Now keep in mind, a whooping only lasts how long? Not long at all. But it's the point, it's the initial fact. If you hit me, I just go into this attack mode. It's fight or flight. Like, I don't care who you were, mama, grandma, whoever. I did not like being hit. I don't think y'all understand. So I stayed on restriction for 2 years one time. Missed all the family trips because I just didn't want to be spanked. Especially after I had that choice. I mean, I missed all my track meets, all my softball. Yeah, I couldn't. If it wasn't church, I couldn't go. If it wasn't grandma's, I couldn't go. But I was okay with that, because guess what? I didn't get a spanking. But nowadays, yeah, these kids, I think it's more. They got more influences, especially with these electronics and stuff. They be listening to everybody that ain't their mama and daddy. But then, like I say, if you instill in them, yeah. If you instill in them before they leave your house and know that they're gonna take that with them, I don't think you have nothing to worry about. That's just my saying now, knowing what I know from discipline and spanking. Ooh, pretzels and hummus, spanking kids.
Yeah, I think that's it for me.
Cranberries.
You got anything else?
No, I think that's all. Y'all want to see what the people watching real fast? We'll do a quick thing, because there's people and their kids out here, you know, how people are with recording their children. Mr. P. Ooh, y'all saw the little booty over there. But as always, thanks for listening. Sorry, y'all see my double belly. We out. NessaBBey out.
My name is Paul Emerson. I'll give you my 2 cents.
Boop-a-doo.